Hi there! Welcome to another episode of our video podcast. We profile inspiring people, discuss industry trends, share valuable tips, and almost always goof around too. And as you listen to a conversation among friends with a shared passion, we invite you to sit down, get comfortable, and park here. Now let's begin. Here are your hosts, Park Cruz and Rommel Marcelo.
Hey, PARC here. Welcome to episode 4 with my huggable and lovable cuddly co-host Rommel Marcelo.
Hey, good evening guys, good evening. Hello po mga idol, kamusta kayo dyan? And Park, kamusta ka?
I'm doing good pero sobra kaba ko ngayon. Hindi ko alam bakit pero kinakabahan ako. Pero hopefully mawawala ito. Yeah.
Huwag kang ganyan kasi ako medyo kinakabahan din talaga. Sobrang kinakabahan ako kasi ibang klase. This is a special episode and we prepared so much. Yes. We prepared so much for this episode. Sobrang bigat ng guest natin ngayon. Sobrang bigat.
Buti nga pinagbigyan tayo. Anyway, let's do a recap from last time's show. Remember, it was a blast to invite all the Nikon pros in one show and hindi ko nga alam kung paano natin nagawa yun pero everyone was cooperating. Buti walang na-disconnect but everyone was enjoying. Umaba, bitin pa nga eh. So I guess ang rami natin nakalimutan during the time we were not able to answer all the questions ng mga guests natin, ng mga viewers. So and I think they're requesting for part 2. So yun yung natin i-prepare natin.
Yun nga, sa sobrang ganda nung episode tapos nadala tayo talaga. Ako na po humihingi ng paumanhin doon sa mga gustong pagtanong ng mga part na yun. Alam ko hindi po namin na-address yung last time pero guys, we will make it up to you. Itatry namin mag part 2 to address all the questions na isinil nyo. So masagot man naman siya. So ayun. So,
tinagalog mo na naman ako.
Siyempre. Tagalog tayo. Pinoy tayo. Pinoy.
Okay.
So ayun.
Anyway, so before we continue, I want to thank some of the people who keeps on helping the group. Without them, we're not gonna able to do this or execute this. So again, I want to extend the gratitude to all the people who continuously help us here sa show and our workshop. Okay, so first, I want to thank Miss Mylene Valbuena of US Audio Extreme, Miss Moon and EJ of Nikon Philippines for promoting our show and workshop. Buti na lang sila.
100 years.
Oy, pagbayarin natin yan. Plagi yan. Alright, so Leon's Oven for the yummy cookies. Yeah, you can check them out here in Facebook. And finally, Ryan Tablante of Riley Corp. Pero, wait, kailangan ko pala pasalamatan isang tao.
Sige.
I wanna thank Nicole Cruz, my daughter, for this beautiful mug. Mug. Next time, use your own mug. Kasi, thank you binasag mo yung una ko eh. So,
ang mug iniinom man, hindi nababasag. Joke only. So, ayun. So, syempre, ako naman. Unang-una, maraming salamat sa ating mga manonood. Of course, thank you po sa ating mga viewers from Taiwan, Bacolod, Sir Patrick C. Oy, from Baguio, si Sir Oka. Then, some of our viewers from, syempre, Abu Dhabi, Taiwan, Australia, and more. If you have any questions,
don't forget Thailand. Remember?
Thailand. Syempre, of course, ang Thailand. I hope Sir David Sala can watch this. Then, ayun, so maraming salamat talaga sa mga tumulong at tumangkilik ng aming show. Lalo pa namin pong pagbubutihan at mag-i-invite pa tayo ng ating mga guests para ma-inspire at lalo tayo matuto. Of course, syempre, shoutout muna sa aking family, sa anak ko, malamang nanonood siya. Ayan, maraming salamat sa pagsuporta. Yan.
Di ba katabi mo lang anak mo dyan?
Hindi, nasa kabilang kwarto yun, naglalaro.
Alright. Kala ko, katabi mo. Last time binabati mo, katabi mo lang. So, just say hi.
Oo eh.
Anyway, ano bang bagong natin sa social media? Ano bang latest natin ngayon na
Siyempre, the Christmas is coming. Alam mo na,
Ay, nako.
ubusan na naman ng pagkakakitaan. Alam mo na.
Mukhang magastos na year to. Wala na nga kinikita. Gagastos pa. And one of them is, you saw the new Apple Watch na nilabas nila. The Apple Watch 6. Galing talaga ng Apple. Napaka-innovative.
Sobra.
Kasi this time,
sobrang promising.
Meron na silang kulay pula at saka kulay blue na Apple Watch. Oh, what a technology. Grabe. And they called it an Apple Watch 6 dahil may pula. At saka, may gold na rin pala. Di ba?
Oh. Malabang yun? Apple Watch 6 SE.
No,
Special
actually,
edition
meron silang SE. And the thing there, yung SE nila na binibenta nila right now was Apple Watch 5. Grabe, galing talaga nila. Wala lang ako masabi.
That's how marketing works pagdating sa Apple. Doon sila talaga magaling. Yun naman, wala ako. Hands down ako doon. Ang lupit. Walang upgrade pero bagong pangalan, di ba?
Oo nga. Next time babaguhin ko pangalan mo para may iba marketing natin, no?
Wag. So, siyempre, nagsimula na tayo sa mga gadgets. Alam ko naman na hindi ka papahuli. Kita ko nga, umorder ka na ng PS5 eh.
Ay, hindi pa pwede. That's one of my luho in, I love playing games, video games. So, one of my collection is the PlayStation. So people was asking when I posted that I was approved by Sony, yung parang reservation. Guys,
yes.
I had that reservation a month ago. So talagang pumila ng ulit ako ng Sony to have a chance para magkaroon ng PS5 kasi I heard na nga during that time that it's gonna be limited. The supply would be limited, so I need to make a move. So hopefully wag tumaas kasi I've been seeing the PS5 going in eBay around 700,000 USD already, and that's exaggerated. Yeah, it is. So kaya wala na tayo. But people would buy that kasi just for the sake of being first. So kasama na siguro ako sa mga engot na bibili noon.
Wala, huli ko yatang bili ng PlayStation is PS1 pa. After doon, wala na.
Masyado ka napag-iwanan, kapatid.
Oo, wala na. Talagang gano'n. Siyempre, habang tumatanda na ibang mga ideology sa buhay, ganyan. Wala sa gaming industry, gano'n.
So now, remember, you saw the new graphics card, the NVIDIA GTX 30 series. Oh my God, sobrang pabor yan sa mga videographers, sa mga nagre-render. Yes. Sobrang saka gamers actually. Pero the price is really high. I think it's around $1,500 for yung pinaka top of the line nila. But ang maganda lang sa kanila, yung yung base model niya, the 3070 I guess. Yes. Is faster than the current top of the line, the 2080 Ti. So, yun yung maganda. So, may option pa.
Yun lang.
Bibili ka ba?
Kahit malabo sa sabaw ng ampaw yan. Naku po. Isang presyo ng video card, presyo ng laptop. Naku po.
Di unahin mo na lang yung video card. Wag ka na muna mag-computer. At least meron kang video card, di ba?
Saksak yun.
Anyway, let's continue.
Video card ka na gano'n, mahal pa nun, di ba?
Let's continue. Really, hindi ako focused. Yes. I'm really excited to talk to the guy. Dude, I'm really excited. Kanina pa ako nilinervous and I really have to start. Baka mag-collapse ako dito.
Hindi, okay lang yun. So, siguro, let me do the honors to introduce our guest, our special guest, no?
Yeah, go ahead.
Siguro,
sige. But
okay. So,
we have this night to talk with the artist known as ML. Normally, ML makikita mo.
Yes.
But tonight with Manny Librodo live. So join us and PARCHERE. So let's not keep the people waiting, brother. At kahit ako na na rin, natitest na.
Sige.
All right.
Let's welcome, without further ado, let's welcome Sir Manny Librodo himself.
Yun.
Hello. Yan.
Sir Manny, hi.
Sir Manny, hi. Hello po.
Check audio. Tayo.
I am.
There you go.
Okay.
Hi,
Yes.
Manny.
Okay.
Oh my God, nice to see you, my friend. You look good. Actually, you look younger than before. All right, so how do we start, Rommel? Since ikaw madalas nagsisimula nito.
Yan, syempre, normally, ini-introduce natin yung person. Pero, siguro, maiba tayo. Baka, Park, may idea ko how to introduce our special guest, syempre.
Kasi the problem here, everyone knows Manny already. Everything you need to know, you'll see it in the internet. There's nothing to do. So I'll make it different. So Manny, first of all, we want to thank you for giving us the chance to join our show. So how's life treating you first? Kailangan ko muna din. And what are you doing? What do you keep? How do you keep yourself busy right nowadays?
How's life treating me? I'm here now in Bangkok since February. When I flew into Bangkok, I never thought I'm gonna get stuck in here.
Okay.
Or till now. Initially they have strict quarantine.
All right.
So I couldn't go out. I couldn't shoot. But I managed to do some exercises. Just went out of my condo and do some walking. Tapos ngayon they have relaxed a lot. You know, they're almost back to normal. So I'm almost back to normal. I can shoot as much as I want to.
Good for you.
And I keep myself fit, kunwari, by playing badminton.
You are fit. You look good. You look good,
Sir Manny. You look good.
Salamat. We need to be fit as photographers, right?
We should.
Yes, of course.
We're chasing subjects, where we have to look groovy.
Diba? Ano yan for short, bawal tayo tumanda. Hindi tayo pwede tumanda dito sa field natin. So, let's start the ball. So, again, since sabi ko nga, I really want to introduce you, but this time I'll make it different. Normally, we introduce our guests. We have a write-up, we do the research, but this time sobrang tamad na namin kasi nandyan na Kumbaga, if you're gonna do the exam, it's already there. But this time, it seems everyone knows you already and read about you online. This time, let's make it different. I'll let you introduce yourself in a way you want people to know you. Who is Manny Librodo? What is your everyday role in the grand scheme of life or things? So,
yeah, okay. So I'm Manny Librodo. I'm a photographer, but over and beyond being a photographer, I'm also a learner of life in general. I think the reason why I say that is because my other profession is I used to be a teacher. I used to be a high school teacher, but teaching is not just actually teaching. Teaching is also learning. And in the same manner, in my photography, even if I was doing workshops, I make it a point to learn from everyone and everything and everywhere. That's how we grow as a person and as a photographer.
Yeah. So it's almost the same. Yeah, that's the thing, the fun in teaching. Yeah, I would also learn from my students. Sometimes you get techniques, or sometimes they have this thing na hindi mo naisip yung concept na yun. Oh, that's a good idea. So that I agree 100% with you on that. So Rommel, what else?
Yun, very well said, Sir Manny. Kasi syempre, talaga experience is the best learnings talaga, di ba? So even though you are teaching, pero you experience something with with your students, which is tinuturuan ka din nila in back na hindi nila alam na tinuturuan din nila tayo, parang ganon.
Yes.
So ayun, very well said, Sir Manny. Medyo mabigat-bigat yun
Yeah, I expected kasi yun nga. I expect that an answer kasi he's passionate. I've been a fan. I've been following Manny from the start. So alam na ganun talaga. Kasi if anyone who's in this field and if hindi nandun, if you're not having fun, hindi ka naman tatagal eh. And look at him, it's still here. We're enjoying.
Yes.
You're enjoying. Everyone's enjoying. Kasi if you're not enjoying this, I don't think tatagal ka dito eh, di ba? So, Manny, I have to ask this. So, how did it start with you, the creative spark, and being hooked to our craft?
I think I started as someone who appreciates art. Ever since I was little, I grew up in a family of artists. My late brother, si Boboy, who is also my mentor in my photography, he's the complete artist in the family. So I grew up always looking at his works, paintings, drawings, and always admiring because I don't have those talents. You know, I can never paint, I can never draw, I cannot sing, you know, I cannot play musical instruments, and Boboy can do everything, you know.
Magkakasundo tayo. Parang yung wala. I wanna sing, but I can't sing, I can't dance. I wanna do painting, but I have no idea. Okay,
yes.
That's fine. It's nice to hear that from you. Okay, continue. Sorry for butting in.
No problem. So basically, I always look at his art, you know, and then my love for photography probably started when I learned to appreciate beautiful photos in magazines. You know, growing up, 1980s, 1970s, 1980s, wala masyadong mga glossy magazines, you know.
All right.
But whenever I see one, oh my God, you know, I'll hold on to it. I love the glossy texture. Probably that's the reason why my colors in my pictures are like glossy magazine colors.
That big, yes, Life magazine. One of them is Life magazine, right?
No, Mabuhay.
Oh!
Mabuhay.
Mabuhay. Okay, okay.
Mabuhay. Mga in-flight magazines, you know.
All right.
Life, we couldn't afford that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I look at those pictures and I learn to appreciate, you know, beautiful art. And then I went on with my life, you know, without venturing into any art, into doing any art. Kasi I'm resigned to the fact that wala akong talent, you know. And then when I hit around late 30s, I started. That's when I moved to Bangkok, and when I started to teach in the international school here. That's when I started to earn quite a lot of money, enough to allow me to travel.
All right.
Almost every occasion, almost every weekend. And when I started to travel, of course, what comes along with it is you have to take photos of the places that you've been to, you know. With my point and shoot, I started to take photos of places, of landscapes, and I am so bad. I was so bad, and then I started to take pictures of people, and I started to discover that I have that's something, you know, that connection with people. Probably because also of my background, I'm a teacher in psychology, you know.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. We have a lot of things in common, PARC, right?
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm a teacher in psychology, and I can interact with people, and I can easily get their emotions. I can also capture their emotions and immortalize it in my photos. And I thought it's common, but then people started to think like, "Manny, how did you do that?" You know.
Yeah.
And so I decided to, and I started to think about, I think I have a bit of talent in my photography, and then I started to show it to my brother. And my brother started to
So
Yeah, and
for
my
sure,
brother
you're just
started
playing.
to-
You're just playing around during the first
Oh,
first
yeah.
stage, right? Yeah. So,
Yeah,
walang-
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, and then when my brother saw it, he started to say like, "You should join me in my trips." At that time he was he was a member of the Bangkok Photographic Society.
Mm-hmm.
So I joined, and then I was looking at the picture of some of the old members,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel that there's something lacking in their photos, which is something that
All right.
which is something that I have,
Okay.
and that is emotion, But then they have all the technical knowledge. They have all the technical know-hows.
Mm-hmm.
Ang ganda ng mga pictures nila, but then
May kulang.
it's too clean.
Yeah.
It's too clean. It's not raw. You need to
Okay.
put in some emotion.
I know
in there,
what
you
you're
know?
talking about. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain that to other people that ano yung normal, ano ba? It's a thing. It's a thing, guys. Manny knows that. Okay.
And so what happened was that when I started to shoot people, I discovered that I have this talent in photography, and then after that I ventured into an SLR camera,
Okay.
and then I posted. Ito yung masaya kasi I wanted to shoot every day, but I couldn't do that because I will have to go earn my earn something for me, which is teaching.
Yeah.
So I sort of combined teaching with photography. So I started to shoot my students.
Oh,
in
okay.
school.
They allow that. All right.
Yeah, they don't, of course, but I find a way how to do it. I eventually volunteered to teach yearbook so that I can
Okay.
shoot everyone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that's when I started to become quite big, because when I started to show my work online, people started to appreciate my craft, and when they learn that these are just students in my classroom, and my place of or my location for my shoot is just my classroom with my black bulletin board in the background, people were more awed with my photography. I won a lot of competitions. That's where I met Crystal, because Crystal was
Crystal, yeah.
Okay.
yes, and it started from there. And I think one good thing about my timing is the fact that digital camera was starting then.
Okay.
With the analog, I could not imagine myself being a photographer. I couldn't
Alright.
get the
You
the
don't
instant
see
feedback,
that.
right?
Yeah. It takes too long.
Right.
Yes.
So I need the instant feedback because I'm not technical. I have to see it if it's good or bad, right? Secondly, during the time also when I was starting with my photography, the World Wide Web also became very popular.
All right.
So I was able.
Yep.
So there was a venue for me and for us to share our work online, and during that time there were plenty of competitions, and the playing field is not so competitive, right? Because there were only a few photographers, right? And it was so easy to win.
It is.
So easy to win, PARC, right?
Yeah. Okay, guys. If you have no idea, because during the time we started, that's around probably the digital boom. That would be around 2005. Everything we do is new. So we don't have any competition. Everything we do, if we join contests, we will see each other there. Pero ayun nga, no one's doing it. Ilan lang. So if you're doing landscape during time and it's different, you would excel. So swerte kami. We were lucky. Pero nowadays, normally I tell this to my students. The challenge right now, we could teach you all the things, all the techniques here, but the hard part here is how would you make it different now? Kasi everything's been done already. So from 2005 until now, everything, ang rami nang nagawa. So what else would you present now to penetrate the market? Anyway, go ahead, Manny.
You know what, PARC?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so that's basically my story, how I started and how I developed in my craft. But based on what you were saying about what else can we do, I think right now, kasi the world is so small,
Mhm.
But you know, I mean, the world is so small because of the social media.
Especially
Yes,
right now we're
yes.
on lockdown, so it's smaller right now.
Actually, I would say the opposite. It's
Oh,
bigger right
okay.
now because we couldn't go there. You know,
All right.
like for example, you know, kasi when I say the word is so small,
All right.
places we were thinking about before, like the aurora borealis in Iceland, you
All
know,
right.
the Arctic, you know, the Antarctica, you know, people
Mhm.
cannot go there, but then all of a sudden everyone is going there.
Going there.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, especially if you're familiar with the international market, you know, the Singaporeans, their weekend, this weekend they will be in Antarctica. Next weekend they will be in Peru. The following weekend they will be, you know, so, and they are taking amazing photos, you know.
Yeah.
Thank, well, in a way, you know, the great equalizer is the COVID. We're all back to zero,
Yeah.
confined in our
zero,
own
yes,
rooms.
yes.
Exactly. Everyone
Yeah.
go back
So-
to yeah.
But one good thing about this is that it's actually a time for us to assess our photography, you know,
Mm.
like where are we heading to after this COVID? Where are we heading to? You know, should we continue on traveling? Should we finally find our own niche in photography? Because we've been shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting. For me, I've been shooting a lot, you know, and dumped
Yeah.
it in my hard drive. I have no time to look at my pictures even, you know. Pero ngayon, you know, we start, right, like almost every weekend I had a workshop then, you know.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
now
know
I
that.
started to go back into my hard drive and like, oh my God, I have
Checking
this
out
picture. Oh my
checking
God.
out all the stock
I have-
photos. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I have this picture of 7 elephants in Surin. You know, I even forgot about this, you know.
So that's why I'm seeing
Oh
new
my God.
photos from you. Something different.
Right.
Now that explains all the different photos. It's something different. Oh, how come he's releasing them? Saan yan nasushoot to? Yung pala yun.
I
Those are...
Park kahit 3 years pa tong COVID, I have enough to sustain
Oh
me
naman.
in terms of photos.
Well,
In terms of
sobra naman.
photos.
Gano'ng
Oo nga,
katagal.
sobrang...
Daming pictures. And then one more thing, Park, you know, I'm actually jumping in here now. I'm not answering your question anymore. It's
No,
not
it's okay. It's okay.
Yes,
Sabi ko nga
yes,
sa'yo,
yes.
it's a very informal show.
Free-flowing,
It's a free-flowing. It's like friends just talking. Kaya that's why I told you we love butting in during the talk. So,
and I don't mind, yeah.
so it's
anyway,
gonna, yeah.
Right now also I am going back to competitions.
Oh.
I'm joining competitions again. But I'm keeping quiet about it. This is the first time I'm getting out and telling people.
Oh my God, mukhang magkikita tayo sa isang competition. Mukhang
That's
meron.
good.
Meron.
That's good. That's good.
I'm
So
not gonna say
anyway,
it. Kung ano yun. Sige, let's just wait for that.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm going back into competitions right now, and I have, because that's where I started. You know, that's where I become Manny Librodo because of the competitions.
Okay.
And then I stopped. And that's where Scott Calvi noticed my work. You know, that's where
Okay.
people in Golf Photo Plus noticed my work because I had been winning competitions quite often then. You know, but then I stopped because you know, when we got into the workshops, you know, our students starts to join competitions. We became more of a cheerer. We became more of
You're the person naging ano tayo, we became coach for them. Naging coach na gato, right?
Right, but because of the pandemic, you know, I said, why don't I get into competitions again? And then I eventually found one site that suits my style because there are so many competitions right now. The problem is I don't want to join paid competitions. I don't want to pay, you know.
So, some of them na nag-charge right sila.
Yeah, so I have this one site na walang bayad, and it so suit my style, and the pictures were so amazing from all over the world, you know. So I joined the competition. I'm only 2 months old in this community, and I've won my first hero, my top prize last week lang.
Congratulations, sir.
From a field of
nothing's gonna stop Manny. Kahit COVID can stop Manny.
Yeah. and I'm not saying anything about it yet in my Facebook or Instagram. I'll do it after this show. Okay.
Na-announce mo na rin so might as well do it.
Yeah. But anyway, it's so humbling. PARC, it's so humbling joining competitions again.
It is.
Why? Because when I started, a month ago, I started from the bottom. It's a community, you get to build up your name, I started from the bottom. I know my pictures are better than most of the people, but then you have to build a reputation,
Yep.
And eventually when you build, after you have built up a reputation, you have to study the psyche of the community, what kind of pictures will win, PARC, what's good, and eventually you'll know about this, is that what's good about this competition is that you are not paying, but they give good prices.
Oh.
Their price, yes. No. Their price is, for a themed competition every week, their price is $1,000 US.
Oh. And it's not it's not a paid
and
competition.
You're not paying.
That's new.
And the grand prize, PARC, believe it or not, $25,000 US.
Rommel, alam na.
Oh.
Alam na.
Napaisip na nga ako kasi parang gusto ko nang i-pull out din kasi ganyan din ginagawa ko ngayon, Sir Manny. Actually,
dude, once you see, pag nakita mo nang nag-ranking si ML, automatic, pull it out. Huwag mo ka lang.
Yun na nga. Medyo kinabahan ako lalo.
No, I'm just kidding.
So, okay, but anyway, the thing is, bottom line is, it's so humbling.
Yeah,
because there are so many beautiful pictures from all over the world. Before,
yes,
it's so easy. I'll put in a picture of Karu or Crystal. I'm sure I'm gonna win. Sometimes it's the model.
Ano nga yan diba? Sino ba naman, if you shoot Karu or Crystal, oh my God, paano mo ba magkakamali pa dyan? Even you're using a camera phone, those girls will look good in camera. Walang sablay doon.
Yeah, but now I could not do that, because right now, as what I've said, the playing field, is so competitive. You have people who have pictures of deers in winters in Mongolia.
Okay.
Oh my God! You have pictures of people cuddling bears.
Ganda nun
things that you think couldn't be done before.
Now they're doing
God.
it. Okay.
Yeah, especially the rich travelers. So how could you compete with them?
Kaya.
Kaya pa rin. But the thing is, kaya, but the thing is, it's very humbling because then you have to step back and assess your own photography. Okay, if I want to offer them something good,
tama.
Even if I haven't been to Mongolia or even if I haven't been to these hinterlands in Russia, I can still give them a run for their money by offering something that they don't have. So you try to look into your photography and assess your photography and choose your war, so to speak, right? Don't just submit anything, you have to choose the battles that you're gonna get into.
See guys, di ba sabi ko sa inyo may matututunan kayo. This is not just a talk, a nonsense talk dito. No, that's why we invited Manny to explain this. Anyway, Rommel, I know you have a question for Manny.
Yun nga. Pero syempre, first of all, baka i-back out ko na po yung mga in-entry ko kasi baka kayo pala yung kasabayan ko. Kasi yun nga, Sir Manny.
Natakot tayo na niya.
You're right, Sir Manny, kasi itong COVID talaga, sobrang hirap talaga. It will let you down. You will question yourself. Sabi mo parang, paano pa ako mag-shoot? Ano pa yung subject na gagawin ko? So, I try to assess myself. I try join international competitions, try to go there to venture. I saw different kinds of photos. Sabi ko, parang wala pa ako sa kalingkingan. I'll try to run down yung mga old photos na meron ko. Then, saka, minsan nakaka-chamba po, nakaka-play sa kabutihang palad. Pero ngayon, mukhang baka i-pull out ko kasi baka kayo yung nandun.
Wala.
I don't think so. I don't think so kasi sometimes sa competitions kasi it all depends on the judges also, di ba? Sometimes makita mo yung mga entries ang gaganda and then they will choose something that is very simple.
Different
as in like different, that's the word part, different,
Different, yeah.
Something that is simple and different.
Different, yeah.
And you start to ask the question like,
huh?
What's going on in their mind?
First reaction. First,
what's going on?
Bakit? Kasi, I normally just react to myself doing that. Now, guys, so pag ganyan, why? It's a normal question. Pero, ano yan as a competition, guys, you have to remember, if, let's say, may mga ganyan sa competition, ang kuminsan nga, ang naging natutunan ko, you also have to study who are the judges. Kasi the judges would really be part of what you have to present Kasi, sila ang magja-judges. So, magiging lamang if you present something that it's kind of their niche or their style or their taste, diba? Yun yung if you know the judges. Pag by chance, then yun yung pagalingan na talaga ang labanan.
Yun na nga. Yun, follow up lang ako, Sir Manny.
Sure, go.
Meron na nga yan, yung international competition. So, definitely, you need to show your style talaga. Sir Manny, paano mo nalaman na yung style na yun ay fit talaga dun sa'yo or fit talaga dun sa competition na yun? Kasi sometimes it's very hard talaga, lalo't pagka big scene competition, sobrang konsepto pa lang ang hirap ng mag-isip.
I know. Especially right now, yung mga big competitions, more on concept sila Ang papangit na mga pictures. I'm sorry.
Well, it's our show, so we could say anything we want here.
Yes.
I mean, the pictures are mediocre, pero the concepts, amazing.
Yeah.
Pero that's how they choose it. So ang sa atin siguro, as what Park said, you have to know the judges. You have to study the past winners.
Oh yeah, past winner, yeah.
Right. Sometimes also, kasi even if you know the judges part, kasi I've sat during that long period of time na hindi ako nag-join ng competitions, I sat in as a judge in big competitions. Asian Geographic for 5 years, I was there judging alongside with Michael Yamashita and Steve McCurry.
Steve McCurry.
So I was able, right. So I was sitting with them as a judge in some editions of Asian Geographic competition. And as a judge naman, sometimes when some people show us something na similar to our own style, for it to win, it has to be better than our picture.
Oh yeah.
Yan naman ang aking frame of mind. So if you show me something like a Rosalinda, it has to be better than my Rosalinda for you to win.
Ang hirap po pala maging judge. Ang hirap po maging judge.
Yeah, kasi pag nakita ko na similar sa akin, parang okay, out. Let's go to the next one, Okay. Similar sa akin na inferior.
Yeah, okay.
Pero pag if it's something na it's very, very superior than mine, I would say, eventually I will
pasok na siya. Kasi nag-excel siya He did something different or she did something different among the rest, diba? Yun yung effort
Yes. Yeah.
Yun.
And then there are some judges naman na pag alam nila na it's a setup, binovote down nila. So, it's masaya kung minsan if it's a panel and if it's a panel discussion judging na hindi online. Kasi pag online, pinapadala lang sa you rank it, you don't even know what the other judges are saying, right?
Yes,
pero pag panel talaga na you discuss, masaya.
You
kasi,
talk,
we debate, we like someone, the picture is so mediocre, but then someone feels so winnable, and he will start convincing the rest of the judges that it's winnable, and then we eventually would award that person as the winner. That's funny. That's how funny it goes sometimes.
Yes.
So there's a big luck factor in competitions. There's a big luck factor. So normally, if you are sitting in as a judge in big competitions, ano na yan, screened na ang mga entries eh. You know, like
okay.
you will choose already like the top 20.
Mm-mm.
And then doon na kayo magde-debate sa top 20. So first and foremost, you have to get into that top 20. Yan ang goal mo. You know?
Ayun.
So, yeah. So I think there's a psychology in competitions. And it's not
which
for
is
people
your,
na mga...
which is your
it's not for people
advantage.
also na mga... Right. And it's not for people na onion skinned, you know, kasi
Manny, natutunan ko na lang maging makapal when I was starting the onion skin ako. Ang bilis ko so I just learned through the years how to be thick skin. Yun na lang mo.
Right.
Yun
right.
Siguro.
And there are some people who don't want to get into competitions kasi they would say, I'm only competing with myself. Fine, that's good, you know.
Right.
I've done that, and I've done that during that period of time na hindi ako nag-compete. I was on my own, you know. But then I personally, depende kasi sa personality ng tao. Ako kasi I tend to improve when I compare myself. Even when we travel, for example, PARC, even when we travel, I travel along with Arnel, with Melay, with Raul, you know, we tend to compare our pictures. And then I always feel that there's something lacking in my photos, you know, because I compared. So I strive to do better the following day, you know.
So you still feel that? You still feel that during the
because I think when you start to become complacent about your work, you know, when you start to feel that you are already good, you know, you're not getting anywhere, you know. Eventually you will disappear, you know.
Tama nga naman. So
Rommel, kaya baba ka konti. Huwag masyadong feel mo magaling.
Anong baba? Wala
you're learning from Manny is already telling you the truth. So learn from that para.
Tsaka, yun nga, let's continue sharing na lang. So, whatever we share, it's our art. So, whatever critics ang pumasok, tanggapin lang and take it positively. Siyempre. So, share lang tayo na share.
Ibang-iba ka ngayon, Rommel. You look different right now. Iba, mga bato na I'm impressed, brother. I'm impressed. I should invite people like Manny every time, no? Kasi mukhang ang gumagaling ka eh. Ito mga tanong.
Hindi naman.
So, we'll continue, alright?
Pump lang ng konti. Yun.
Mahaba to. So, okay, Manny, this is a long one. Okay. This is regarding your style, yung mga subject. The first time I saw your work during around 2005, 2006, I was in awe. Talagang, yan yung ano. Kaya nga, di ba, during one of my show, I really have to thank you kasi I'm doing portraits but there's no direction eh. You're the one who talagang nagbigay sa akin ng, okay, that's the thing I want. So, may idea na ako. So, now, I saw the progress through the years, yung work mo. I'm curious, why with the sudden change or shift of subject? Kasi from normal kids playing in the field, suburban life type of environmental portraits, naging to the colorful, saturated, glamour, fashion, conceptual portraits. Why?
Okay, ano kasi when I started to you're right. I started shooting kids, no? And then eventually I started shooting my students.
All right.
In the classroom. Kasi I could not go out and shoot kids all the time.
All right.
Although if I have the time, I would always prefer shooting the kids, the normal people. Yeah. Okay? The normal people, old people, you know. But I don't have that luxury of time. So I started shooting my students. And then when I started shooting my students, I put them up online. People notice it, and people notice some common style among all of these pictures. You know, like the use of the veils, because that's the only
the veil,
that's the only prop. Yeah.
Hindi pa pwede mawala.
Yeah. The famous veil.
Sabi ko sa inyo,
Steve McCurry, okay.
It's the cheapest it's the cheapest prop, the cheapest prop and lightest prop you could bring along.
Right. Sa akin, PARC, ito yung story about the legend of the veil, you know.
All right. I wanna hear this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kasi I was shooting my students, right?
All right.
And as what you've said, it's the cheapest prop that we could bring. Secondly, it comes in different colors. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Thirdly, it can come in different textures.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And then sometimes, you know, kasi ako, Park, if I'm shooting my students in my classroom, what else can I show? One, the beautiful face of my student.
All right.
Okay. And I'm very, very specific. It has to be a student with beautiful eyes. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's
We're
how
doing portraits of course, yeah.
Yeah. So that's how my veil plus the eyes come in. You know. Secondly, I have to choose different kinds of veil. Yes, I'm using a veil, but I'm using a different colored veil. You know, I'm using a different textured veil. You know. And then thirdly, I have to think of compositions that will fill in that would, you know, I usually have the face occupying the entire frame, right? So how else can I make it dynamic? I can make it dynamic by the use of the veil.
Yeah.
I can make it dynamic by the use of the hair.
Okay.
I can use it dynamic with the use of a flower.
Okay.
I can make it dynamic with the use of the hand.
Yeah.
I can use it. I can make it more dynamic with the use of the jewelries. You know. So
Could you hold
that's how
could you hold that thought? Could you hold that thought?
Yeah.
Every time I'm in class and people would say, I want to learn how Manny Librodo does the processing. Okay, guys, here's the thing. If you're gonna join a Manny Librodo workshop, you know, kung ako sasali doon, I'm not gonna ask the processing. The thing that I'm gonna ask the person or Manny is how he thinks, how he comes up with the color, which is now you're telling me that kasi yun yung essence of the real thing eh. The processing comes next eh. You cannot process if you don't have that concept eh. But if you know, knowing that, hearing that you're making it animated or more lively because of the texture or the color using the veil or the hair, it's a big thing. They don't know that eh. Kasi akala nila just shooting portraits is just shooting someone's face and that's it.
Yes.
No, it's basically all the details, and now you're hearing it from Manny. Now, please continue, Manny.
Okay, so I think the frame is a small frame, especially if you're shooting a face, right? Especially if you're shooting a face, so you have to make it different. You know how? Maybe colors. Secondly, maybe the hand. You know, the jewelries. Like if I go somewhere and I saw like a beautiful ring, oh my God, this will be a good, you know. And then from that beautiful ring continues the entire concept.
Yes.
Like, okay, the veil has to be gold, the eye color has to be, you know, things like that, you know.
Yeah.
And I was so lucky that I have Crystal then as my number one model when I started, because whenever I asked her to bring in something, she would bring it. You know, she's as passionate as Like I would say, Crystal, I have a competition. The theme is yellow. Bring in everything yellow, you know. And the next day, she would have a basket full of yellow stuff.
Mas madali pala yung production mo.
Yeah, that's how I started, you know.
Because your whole team is creative already. Oh
yeah. So the whole team, okay, it's a one-woman team.
Siya rin nagbe-makeup, right?
You know?
Okay.
Yeah. Kasi the thing is, when we started, there's really nothing much to prepare kasi I already have the bulletin board in my classroom.
Okay.
I already have Crystal as a model, you know, so it's easy, you know. So going back to your question as to the evolution. So Park, when I started to show these pictures online, people were so amazed, were so awed by my photography, especially when they learned that they are just students, that I'm just shooting inside my classroom, and so on and so forth. So I got an email from someone. He's from Australia, and he said like, Manny, I would like to learn photography from you. And I said like, oh my God, I don't know how to teach photography, you know, because I never learned photography from anyone, you know.
Yeah.
So he said, no money, but I like your style, you know. So I just would like to fly over to Bangkok to learn from you. So I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm a photographer. Are you a graduate in college? Yes. What is your course? Photography. he studied photography for 4 years. And
he's asking you for
Yeah, so he was my very first workshop student. So he flew to Bangkok. He specifically asked for Crystal to model.
Okay.
So we did the workshop. After the workshop, I posted the work online. And then another inquiry came. And then more inquiries came. And so on and so forth, until such time that I don't have weekends anymore. You know, because they were filled up with all workshops, you know, like, so at first it was a one-on-one, like I would have people who are as far as Russia would come in, you know, to, you know, Bangkok is a hub. One good thing also is that I'm in Bangkok, you know, Bangkok is a hub. People can fly in anytime in here. It was so easy back then. So they would learn from me, and then the same thing happens, you know, I posted them online, the pictures. It never stopped. I have to decline people. Sometimes the one-on-one become 1-on-3, 1-on-5, 1-on-6, until I couldn't I couldn't, you know, do it anymore, small groups. So I have to do it as a big group. Like I fly over to Singapore, I fly over to, you know. So PARC, the evolution came about because that's what the people demanded. Money. Show us how you shoot Crystal, not show us how you shoot the kids. You know, Money. How did you do this veil? You know, how did you brought out the texture? So for me, the evolution, which is not much to my own liking, was because of the fact that I'm actually enjoying it because it's earning me quite a lot. You know?
Nothing to complain about.
So right, it's earning me quite a lot. Imagine that, you know, like. And you know, one good thing also with me is that I am with a lot of good friends. I have a lot of good advisors. One of them is Mr. Bobby Wong.
Bobby Wong, yeah.
Yes, and when I started doing the workshops, I asked him because he was a fan. He was writing me already, even if we haven't met. He was writing me already, sending me messages. So I said, someone would like to learn from me. How much would I charge? And then Bobby said, because he's a business person, you know? And apart from that, he is a very wise person. He knows, and he's very sincere with his comments and his advices. And so he told me, Manny, with the caliber of your work and with the caliber of your name, you're so famous right now, you can demand any price. So start off with this amount. And I said, like, really? Okay. Who's gonna go and learn from me? Like one-on-one workshop, you know, way back 2005.
Yeah,
he was costing like $1,000 for a one-on-one workshop.
That's kind of steep.
And, yeah, 2005. And so I said, okay, it's $1,000, and people got it, you know.
See?
So the thing PARC is his advice to me was, Money, start with that price, because if you start low, you could not get out from that. You will forever be that, you know.
Oh yeah.
And then when you start low and then you want to ask for something,
it's higher, impossible.
There's plenty of rationalizations that you have to come up with.
You have to justify it.
Why are you upping your price? Yeah.
But
if you start high,
you want to see the good example?
But PARC you have developed through the years, you know. So you have the rationale. You have all the rationalizations, and you have all the justifications to up your price because you earned it. Yeah.
This guy needs to do the marketing. The one on top of me. That guy. Okay. So Rommel,
yun, actually, may napulot tayo doon. Tayong dalawa nakapulot.
Marami akong napulot doon. I need to do more marketing and better marketing. Anyway.
Yeah.
So PARC yung colors, colors na eventually came up, you know, it's not to my own liking, you know. But the thing is, yan ang hinihingi ng market, you know, and I have to satisfy the market. And sometimes sometimes because of the market, we don't stay true to our own own style, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and like for example, Yeah. So sometimes they would say like, Manny, can we do this kind of concept? And I would cringe, inside me. I would cringe, and I would say like, oh my God, it's so tacky. But then I have to do it because that's what they are asking for, and they're going to pay you a lot, so it's okay.
So might as well just do it.
Yes.
PARC, it's a workshop is only a weekend thing, so it's okay.
Yeah, I know.
After a weekend, let's shake it off,
Yeah, it's a vacation. It's a paid vacation, actually. I normally call it. It's a paid vacation. Now, do you find it tiring, or do you ever had this nababurnout ka because of this thing going on?
Yeah. During the time na madami akong workshop, it was tiring, but it was enjoyable.
All right.
And also PARC, during the initial stages of my workshop, I'm not doing it alone. I was with Karu,
Oh, Karu.
And
okay.
Right. And you know how Karu is. She's a dynamo. She comes up with and she comes up with one crazy, amazing concept after one after another, So somehow, when I feel burnt out, when I see her creations, I would like, oh my God.
Okay, let's shoot.
Here we go. Yeah. So wow. Oh my God. I want to shoot again, So,
where would I find a model like them who's really created, that helps on the creative thing and conceptualization? That would be a big plus in every shoot.
I'm so lucky. Yeah, I'm so lucky in my photography. I've worked with the right people. My advisors were really, really good. And I had my day job to fall back on. Then, I was teaching, and I actually felt that photography was just a hobby, which is earning me sometimes more than what I was earning as a teacher.
That's why it's fun. That's why it's fun. It's a hobby. It's not work. It's not work. It's never been work for us. It's just a hobby. That's why it's fun. That's why we're still doing it.
Yeah. So ako PARC, the workshops had slowed down. There are so many good photographers now. So many people are doing workshops now.
Yeah.
And oh my God, if you have seen, like workshops of some people, they are like, oh wow, production is so huge, For me, just carry along a reflector,
Less is more. Less is more. Mas maganda maging So for our age, we don't want to carry things like that.
Right. Yeah. But you know what? As I've told you, this pandemic is a great equalizer. Everyone get to stay home and start to rethink about their photography, about the direction of their photography and their journey in photography.
I'll be rebooting mine. I've suddenly changed career for the past 3 months. Look at me now. I'm hosting a show na hindi ko na magawa ito. I hate being in front of the camera.
Yes, PARC, and you're doing very, very well. Huh?
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I'm impressed.
Thank you very much.
I'm impressed.
It's hard work.
PARC, I know. PARC, I know you as a super introvert person, but
I am.
Here. Yeah, but you are doing a role play so well. You're an extrovert.
Now I'm blushing. Okay.
Yeah, you're doing
guys,
well.
It's funny. Manny has been a friend for a long time, but we normally talk every Christmas and every birthday. So that's the only time we greet each other. And this is the only time. This is the very first time we get to talk to each other ng talagang to know each other. That's what, ganito lang. And I'm enjoying because it's funny that I'm nakaka-relate ako because most of the things he's saying is my experience too. But of course, not the financial thing. I haven't experienced that. Malayo eh. So I can't compare that. But the experience in the photography side, it is the same, almost the same, and it's fun. So, all right, Rommel, go.
Yeah,
I think we have to ask yung mga mukhang nababaha.
Actually, I'm browsing some chats
Questions.
from our viewers.
All right.
I've tried to call one of them. However, hindi ko siya matawagan. So,
Ayun. Sige, just basahin mo na lang yung
I would
question.
just like, itanungin ko na lang po, or basahin ko na lang yung question, Sir Manny.
Sure.
From Eladio Gumbok Pinedes. Sir, ask ko lang po, kung ano ang mga requirement na tinitingnan nila sa international competitions like sa mga editing?
Some of the competitions are very clear about their editing guidelines, right?
Yes.
Specify nila kung ano yung allowed lang na editing, you know. Some of the competitions, they're very, very quiet about their editing guidelines. But then if you take a look at their past winners, sometimes you can decipher kung ano yung unspoken guidelines nila. Kasi ako, I like to post-process a lot. But then,
it's a must.
Right.
Tama.
But then lately, I discovered na hindi siya nananalo pag masyado siyang post-process.
May mga purists pa rin.
Right. May mga purists pa rin. And then, pero kaya ko rin yung post-processing na 2 oras ko siyang tinrabaho, pero parang hindi na po post-process.
Walang nangyari.
Kaya ko rin
Minimal process.
Yeah, pero 2 hours kasi nagtitimpi ka.
You made the effect. 2 hours. Tapos 2 hours. Tapos napaka-minimal lang effect. Yung pala na pag pinag-isipan niya kung control.
I know. Yeah, 1 hour and 30 minutes is the control, you know, the timpi, you know. And then
the other one is just saving it.
I know. Actually, sometimes, you know, this is very funny because sometimes when your picture is so good, because I was looking back at because of these competitions, I'm actually looking back at some of my pictures, you know, and I look as far back as Crystal and Caru's picture. And my God, some of them are so amazing off cam, you know, like when you have a good light, oh my God, with the makeup that Caru has done to herself, wala ka nang gagawin, you know.
Wala na.
So sometimes, you know, if you have those kinds of photos and you start to work on them, believe me, 90% of the time you're going to destroy the photo.
Pag hindi ba?
Right? Yeah, there's only 10% chances that you're going to improve it.
Improve it, you know? If it's really good. Yung alam.
Yeah.
Kasi what do you have to do with a good photo? Probably a little bit enhancement, but that's it. But not anymore. It's gonna be exaggerated or over-processed already.
Right.
Tama.
Right. So sometimes sa post-processing, I feel that it's good to work with a mediocre photo.
Okay.
Because if you want to feel good as a retoucher, you know, makikita mo talaga yung before and the after. You know,
yes.
Sa mediocre photo. Pero pag maganda na yung picture, there's a possibility that you're going to destroy it.
Yeah, kasi hindi mo na, you will try to fit your style there, pero bakit hindi pa? Until masisira, babalik ka rin pabalik. Kasi there's a photo, babalik-balik ganun nangyayari. You'll spend more time doing it, di ba? Doon sa those type of photo. Okay, Manny, one question. This is not part of, naisip ko lang, it's gonna branch out from what you answer. During the time you process, kasi on my part, whenever I process, sometimes I doubt my processing thing, my final output. Right. So my guide would be always my wife. I need to ask my wife, check this out. How they find it? She would tell me na no, it's over processed or too red. Doon ko malalaman kasi sometimes I get carried away. So on your part, how do you control your processing thing? When's the right time to stop?
Okay, the right time to stop is when you are tired. It's when you are too tired. You can hardly open your eyes, you know.
Hindi pa tapos.
So tutulugan mo. And then the next day, pag open mo, oh my God, ang pangit ng gawa ko.
Delete all layers. Okay.
Naman from zero, you know.
See guys, it happens.
Oh yeah. So ako actually, I have some people that I always go to.
Oh, okay.
Whenever I am in doubt with my processing, I have versions 1, versions 2, versions 1.
Oh, okay. All right.
Pero most of the time, I have one person I really, really trust when it
Trust
comes
for
to,
that,
he's not,
yeah.
he's not a photographer.
Which is nice. Which is nice.
Which is nice,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, and but I know that he has a sense, a wonderful sense of style.
Alright.
You know, alam ko na grabe yung sense of style niya, you know. So what I do is I ask him, and then he would tell me that, oh, it's too bright, or the color here, oh, it would be better if the blue should be a little bit toned down, you know, and
Okay.
so on and so forth, you know. So
And that's nice. At least na, no?
yeah, si
Meron
Boboy, yung brother ko, I can never please him. No.
Why?
Yeah, it was so strange because he's an artist, you know. And,
Oh,
and
yeah,
there's
okay,
always-
okay. It's okay.
And there's always something wrong with my photo, you know. So I don't feel good, you know.
I think that's
So-
a normal thing with brothers. I'm not gonna talk about my brother because it's gonna be
wag na yan,
personal.
wag na yan,
How about
wag
you,
yan.
Rommel? How about your brother?
No comment. No comment.
Okay. See, we have something in
No comment
common.
po ako dyan.
Anyway, so okay, regarding
Mark,
yeah,
I wanna
Go.
say something.
sure.
When I was starting, of course, was there, you know. When I was starting in my photography, when I was starting to shoot kids, you know, Park was also shooting kids, you know.
Kids,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
And actually,
We're
actually, you
called
know,
pedophiles during that time. We are pedophiles during that time.
and actually, Park, during that time, you know, I think you were the first one who ventured more into complicated Photoshop, you know.
Yeah.
And I was saying that, oh my God, they're so good, you know. So I have to tell
Oh
you
my
this, you know. Yeah, so I have to tell you this, you know. I got intimidated by your works at first, you know.
Come on,
So
no.
good. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a revelation,
Because you
Sir Manny. It's a revelation.
because you were so good, you know, because I was not doing those you know, Photoshop, you know. So I said I have to improve my style, you know, because otherwise.
But your work was great already that time kasi yun sa akin identity when I started kasi the number one thing talagang before I went to the public showing my thing, my goal was to present my work different already. So I
Right.
want it different. So post-processing is a must. Hindi pa pwedeng mawala. So I if I'm gonna process this, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be cinematic or it's gonna be crazy in
Yeah.
terms of color. Because
Yeah.
why?
Oo.
Everyone's good.
And Park, have you noticed that I went cinematic and crazy also with my post processing for quite some time?
Yeah, and you did it
Because
better
I
than
was
me. You did.
No,
You did.
no.
You
Hands
guys,
down. Mark, hands down, it's you. It's you on that genre, you know. And I gave up, you know, because it's yours, you know. So bottom line, Park, is the lesson, the takeaway that I have from that experience was the fact that it's okay to get intimidated by someone else's work.
Because it's
you know.
it would challenge
It's
you.
okay
It's a challenge.
it's okay to compare yourself with others.
Mhm.
It's okay to feel that someone else's work is better than yours,
Mhm.
because I think
Yeah.
that would make you realize that you have to do better, and not really do better, but you have to stick to what you are good at, you know.
All right.
But the thing, Park, is I can remember, you know, you have this one picture, you know, like I would shoot a kid with a cloth, you know, and with the eye peering in that hole, you know.
Mhm.
And you also did it, and you did it better, you know. And I said, like, darn.
I think I remember that
Yeah.
kid. I
So-
shot
so-
that kid. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Park, what I can say is that at that time, it gave me a sleepless night. You know,
Come on.
Like, oh my God, you know, like he does it better than I do, you know. Yeah, but
My God.
Park, the thing
You're
is,
making it awkward for me na right now. The black on na tuloy ako. I'm not expecting
But-
this.
Yeah, Park. But the thing is, I can say that now because we can actually say this with such fun and candor.
Yeah,
And,
it is. Plus, it's not a. It's
but back then it gave me a sleepless night. Like, oh my God, he does it better than me. And at that
So you
time,
did.
when we started.
You noticed me. You noticed my work. Okay lang yun. Masaya lang ako doon. You did notice my work.
Nito,
Park, I have to tell you this. During that time kasi, believe it or not, when you're just starting in photography, for everyone who starts off in photography, and for everyone who's really, passionate and keen to succeed, and that's me, because I was really passionate and I was keen to succeed. I already have some success, but I wanted more. Natural lang yan sa mga nagsa-start Natural lang yan sa mga bata pa I think it's typical. It's okay to feel insecure,
Okay.
and I think and I think what I felt about that was the insecurity. And I think if I can rewind back the time, if I can go back to that time, I think I won't change it because I think it's good to kumbaga sa photography natin, there has to be a conflict, there has to be term nila dyan? There has to be
kumbaga sa movie, there's
sila
some...
dyan may pressure, may conflict,
A push. You
Parang
need that push, okay? That's certain push that...
Tension! There has to be a tension. Yeah, that's what they say, So that those are the things that were kind of tense for me, but then it's a good tension, it's a good stress.
We were even thinking the same thing before. I was so intimidated.
Park.
Yeah.
Medyo namumula ka na, Park. Medyo namumula ka na.
Yeah, I am. Actually, I was not expecting that. Okay.
Yes.
Manny, thanks for making 2020 a great year for me. This one I will remember.
Yeah. But Park, you were so good at that. You were so good at it. Like that. Those are the DPP days.
DPP days.
DPP.
Right?
I miss that.
And
I miss the forum days. Actually.
Yeah. And you would put up those pictures, and I would say like, oh my God, these are so good. The colors, And I tried to do it, but I failed.
Come on. All right. The only thing I could say is thank you very much.
Siguro, let's try to make a follow-up question na lang
go. Sige lang, marami pa yan.
Siguro, Park, we will try to ask question address sa'yo. Yan.
Kanino?
Sa'yo.
Sa akin? Why? Hindi ako yung I'm not the guest. Okay.
Since colors tayo, pumasok tayo sa colors, how do you play colors talaga? How do you manage to put the right colors on your photos talaga?
There's no right per se.
Talaga eh.
Kasi
like
really,
that.
okay, I think Manny would agree with me on the color, even though biased, kasi ito yun I always tell this to my student. Even though I have this favorite color or bias kasi a certain color, you cannot just use that color to sa every photo na i-apply mo. Why? Because the first thing you have to check out is the photo itself. What is the story? What is ano bang ginagawa? Kasi the color is part of the emotion and the storytelling. So you cannot use a happy color on a photo that looks sad. So that's how I play around with color. So binabasihan ko yan doon sa photo itself. So, check ko muna kung ano yung story ng photo. So, that's simple. Ganun lang yun. You have to learn the storytelling using colors. But now, part of yung influence of getting the color is through watching movies. Kasi doon ko naman makukuha yung ideas of getting the best color. Okay, I could use that type of color sa ganitong scene. So ganun lang. Ganun kasimple lang yung approach. Not really technical. It's just part of the storytelling. Not I think you have to ask Manny kasi almost the same pero he would explain it better than me.
Yes, Sir Manny, how about you? How do you play colors to your photos po?
I think a lot of people would comment sa mga pictures ko na, your colors are so clear. It's not so ako naman sometimes I'm surprised how could you not get those kinds of colors. I think colors is, the way you play with colors is very individual. Like I can put up Park's picture in my monitor and try to follow his colors. But then, yung personality mo magka-come out eh.
Yeah.
Kasi you would feel awkward kung I want it more red, you know. But Park's red is not as red, you know. I'm supposed to follow his red, you know. But then
that's
when
not
you
your
start
taste.
doing it, when you start doing it, no, but that's not me, you know. So
That's not you.
I think bottom line is to answer your question, siguro color is part of your trademark as a photographer.
Trademark, yeah.
Especially for us who do some retouching. So bottom line is you follow your heart, you know. There was
be careful in using color, not all.
there are some people na I've been doing workshops all over, you know, the world, you know, and I would always have some people who would come up to me and ask me that question. And I lately before the pandemic started, you know, they would come up to me and show me this like color palette, you know. All of a sudden we have that now, you know, like Manny, you know, all of a sudden we have that now, you know, like okay, Manny, if you're doing all pink, these are the colors that would go around with the pink, you know, like oh my God,
that's the technical. We don't like that.
Technical.
We don't like that.
It's getting so technical, you know. So I would, and then he would start looking at my photos, and I would have like the complete opposite of that color palette, and I would feel so bad, so deficient technically. But then my pictures are doing better than his pictures.
Oh yeah, even though he has the chart.
in terms of the impact, you know. So I think the rules, there are no rules, you know.
No.
The rules are there to guide you.
Yep.
But you have to be careful because sometimes it could be very inhibitive, you know. It could be very it could be very limiting, you know. You feel like you want to explore, but because the chart doesn't allow you to explore, then you have to stay within the box.
With the box,
No.
yeah.
So you have to you have to break the barriers, you know. And sometimes, you know, when you do break the barriers and you come up with your own color chart, you become the rule. You become the color chart.
I don't think I want to be part of the rule. I rather choose my random color rather than a chart, di ba? Mas maganda na yun.
Yes.
But part, if you're doing it so well, eventually your random color will become
it's a trademark.
Standard,
you know?
Yeah, and it's gonna be a color. But again, having a certain trademark doesn't mean it's gonna work with other photos. Yun ang rin ang problem. Yung color, let's say you wanna use Manny's color or my color, if the photo doesn't really match that type of processing, it's not gonna look good. Talagang by the end of the processing, it's your photo that would dictate the color itself.
Tama.
And also right now the technology, oh my God, you just put up someone's picture. You know, the I just learned the Samsung, you know, you have a picture and then you apply the color tone in that picture in your phone picture. It does it automatically, you know. That's crazy.
Mas magaling tingnan sa see, even the Samsung, it's good. We're promoting. We're here.
Baka naman po.
One more question,
Sama ko dyan.
Sama tayo naman. We're open for endorsement, guys. So, okay lang.
Yes.
So, I hope, Sir, sino nga ba nagtanong? Si Sir...
Sige, tanong ka pa. No one wants to call, nahihiya
Sir Eladio, I hope Sir Manny and insight from Sir Park answered your question. So, so far, wala pang ganong nagtatanong.
Someone is asking, it's a very simple question, but ayan, Sir Manny, this is from Maymay Alagaban. This is from Bacolod.
Okay, from Bacolod.
So, Sir Manny, just want to know, JPEG or RAW?
Or RAW?
Park, answer that.
Oh my God, it's a never-ending debate. Ano yan? It's ako na lang. Okay, mine is JPEG. It's just making my workflow easier. Yeah. So I don't again, I use RAW if I'm doing it for a client, but if I'm doing it for my own portfolio, I normally just use JPEG. That's it. Not really.
Yes.
Again, I'm not a technical guy, so yun lang. So if you want to fight over JPEG and RAW, go ahead. Walang yung mayaman doon.
Same here.
See, it's hindi namin ikakayaman yung JPEG. We're gonna use the simplest. Ito na lang. For short, I would always choose the fastest and simplest way of doing things. So JPEG is one of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, that's it.
No, that's it. Hindi pa tayo tapos. That's it.
Hindi pa. So,
hindi ko papakawalan si Manny.
Hindi natin papakawalan niya. Lalo pa ngayon. Siguro,
alright.
Proceed tayo with the next batch of questions.
Okay, go. Sige. Yun. After yan.
Sige. Siguro, Sir Manny, I would just like to ask kasi medyo kilala ka na.
Medyo. That's
Hindi,
an understatement.
Yes, yun nga. Kilala na si Sir Manny. So, Sir Manny, paano mo nalaman talaga na kilala ka na sa industry? How, what triggers na, okay, I'm a well-known photographer na?
Okay, before kasi with the World Wide Web, maraming mga forum. There are so many photography fora.
Yeah. So for the sake of other people, it's there's Pinoy photography, there's DPP, marami yan, no?
Yeah, and a lot of international also na mga forum. You know? And when people started to talk about me in the forum, that's when I realized na, oh my, they're talking about my work, you know. And there's I want to share this anecdote. I went to this very famous forum then, you know, it's an international forum. And I just, parang game lang na I type in my name and there were so many threads about me. And I started to go into some of the threads. That's the time when I was shooting the students, when I was doing some weekend workshops, you know. And someone, they were discussing about my lighting. Okay. My lighting, you know. Okay.
It's fun to read those pictures. Dinidebug nila yung ginagawa.
Right. The truth of the matter is, yung lighting ko is Photoshop. Okay. The truth of the matter is, I'm shooting inside my classroom with the window lighting, with a black bulletin board in the background. But I have amazing, beautiful faces. I have amazing veils as my props and so on and so forth. Okay. Anyway, the what they were discussing in the forum was my lighting. You know, the thing is, I don't have any lessons in photography. I don't know anything about lighting. So sa Photoshop ko, this is the most funny thing. Sa Photoshop ko, alam mo sa mata na yung source of light is from the right, but I would have a light from the left, you know. I just add a light from the left.
The natural light, okay. Yeah.
Right. And at sometimes, in some places, na feel ko lang dagdagan yung light, dinadagdagan ko. I don't care about where the source of light is coming from. You know? Kasi
basically, you're breaking the rule already.
Hunch. Right. I'm just following my hunch, you know, like, I need more light here. It will have more story if the light falls on the shoulder, you know.
No.
So anyway,
pinagpiestahan ka ng purist niyan.
Yeah. But here they are in the forum discussing about my lighting. And merong isa na siguro pakuha ng pansin, no? Sabi niya. Marami yan. Yeah. Sabi niya, I've been to Manny Librodo's workshop. I don't know him, you know, but he said, I've been to Manny. I flew all the way to Bangkok to attend this workshop and we shoot crystal, but I don't know him. And this is how he does his lighting. You know? And what he did was, he has an illustration of like 7 lights.
7
lights. So the most funny thing is, because I don't know anything about the lighting, my lighting looks very complicated. You know, hindi nila ma-decipher, hindi nila ma-decode.
Bintana lang, di ba? Di ba? Ganun lang.
Yeah, kasi yung Photoshop ko, kahit saan ako dadagdag ng
Oh,
ilaw.
yeah. That's why you have Photoshop. We create things. So we're not bounded by rules. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're connecting with your the thing na nabanggit mo. Okay, here's a question. It's a good one. How do you handle the critics?
Yan.
Oh my God. Part, remember, I told you, when we started, we are like kids in photography, right?
Yeah.
And as kids, we're so reactive. We always react to critics, when we were young.
It's personal.
Oh.
Remember, it's our creation.
Yeah. Right. It's our creations. Pero sa akin kasi, I was so lucky na I have more fans than critics. When I was starting, I have
Good for
more
you.
followers. So, right.
Yeah, I have the
That's
opposite.
why I was so lucky, You know what? Because they got intimidated with your work, They got
Come on, hindi.
intimidated because-
They hate
At the
my
start-
guts. So yun yung totoo.
Yeah, and you also react, Pero sa akin kasi, I'm not reacting when I started. Deep inside, as what I've told you, when I see your beautiful work, sleepless night. But I'm not
Yeah.
letting it out,
Stop that.
But I'm not saying anything about that till now, I'm not reacting, and it's my fans who are reacting, to the critics, so in a way, the psychology is, I think it's part of the packaging also on my end, because as a psychology teacher, somehow packaging is very, very important. Part of my packaging is that I don't have time to patol sa mga critic.
Good for you. Ako,
I see.
pikon ako.
Let
Sobrang
the
pikon
fans-
yun.
Yeah. Let the fans do things for me. So, ako kasi may mga fans ako na very very die hard. So I would say like,
They would
you know
fight for
what?
you.
Someone is attacking me, and then they would come in and fight for me. But actually, I told them to fight for me, But I'm not the one who's out there, doing it for me, So
Yeah.
somehow, packaging wise, oh wow, this guy has a legion of fans, So in a way, I think I played it so well when I started, So I think ngayon I don't have to do that, I think I'm as candid and as sincere as I am right now. I still do not make patos sa mga critic nila
That's
kasi
good.
I know that with my kasi part with our status, we don't have to make patol anymore.
No, not
Kasi
anymore.
we-
Probably
kasi we know-
before.
Kasi
yeah.
we know, right, kasi we know our style na eh. And those things that they are saying, we actually know na, mali ko yan.
Yes, saka
Kailangan
special.
ko pang i-improve yan.
And especially nowadays, I don't think it's a nice thing. Ang bilis nun. Mabilis masira sa social media just because of one reaction.
Yeah,
Diba? Iba na
yeah.
iba na.
And also, Park, we're getting older, when it comes to dealing with stress, we want a stressless life, right?
Yeah, I'd rather
Yeah,
sleep
we want-
early rather than...
Yeah, especially sa akin, sometimes I have so many this anxiety, panic attacks. Oh, forget it, Let them
Okay lang yan.
say
It's
whatever.
part of life na lang. Not getting old, but
Oo nga
life.
Yeah.
Anyway, Rommel, go.
Yun,
You have ano?
actually, I was to ask how he handles yung mga negative critics to positive critics.
Yeah, he
pero
did that.
I
He
guess,
did that.
I guess nasagot na niya doon sa question mo din. Medyo nakapasok na rin doon. Pero,
yeah.
additional question na lang siguro,
Go.
Sir Manny. If ever yun nga, yung mga critics, if something like na medyo merong tumama talaga sa na isang critic, paano mo siya hinahandle talaga positively?
Personally,
How
you
do
mean personally, yeah?
Yeah, personally, and how you turn that negative critic into a positive
Yeah.
side para sa inyo.
Kasi ngayon social media eh. Yung critique would be in social media. Okay, so for me, like for example, when I posted some of my pictures in Ladakh in India, someone said that, oh, I like your pictures, but you're overdoing your clouds. There's no, something like that, and actually, that person who said it, I haven't met her personally. She had been following my work. So the first thing that I did was I liked her comment. Okay. And then I commented, I really appreciate your comment, but that's exactly what I am striving for. I want my pictures to look not ordinary, First, in psychology or in any business practices, first you have to acknowledge. You have to acknowledge the critique, whether it's good or bad,
Mm-hmm.
And you have to agree with them at some point,
If it's
And then secondly, yeah, if it's valid,
Yeah.
And if it's not, kasi some critique, kasi the way they would word it, it's so bad, right?
Yeah, it's ang term natin, sagad sa buto. Ano ba? You want me to quit or what? Ano ba? Galit ka ba?
Right. But right. But it has never happened to me, Pero if that thing would happen, siguro, first question you should ask is, ano ang motive ng tao? Why did he give you that critique?
Yeah.
Who is this person?
Saan nanggagaling? Okay.
Yeah.
What's the source of that?
To bring you down, inggit, disappointed siya kasi he likes your work so much and then you're overdoing it.
He wants to shoot it.
So you have to know, right? So you have to know the motive, And then once you know the motive, you try, we have a lot of people we can talk with, like I have a lot of friends, and then I would discuss it with them, like why do you think did he say that? Anong purpose niya? And then when I say something and then it confirms your thoughts and then said, oh, that's good, okay, now I'll start to I'll move on, because sometimes it bugs you, right? It's sometimes if it's too condescending, parang oh my God, wala na ba akong ginawang
it's really gonna go to under your skin talaga, maapektuhan ka kahit paano It happened to me na talaga may mga comment na to the point that I lost interest and siguro nag-hiatus na ako for a month just to cool down kasi talagang personal kung minsan lalo na kasi whenever I do my work, it's really personal. It's my creation. I put myself into it. So if someone's gonna comment na harsh na it's not valid, tapos you would see the profile, you check the person, it's not even, oh my God, look at your work and you're judging my work. Mga ganun ba? Diba? Kumbaga wala kang K, ba? But sobra ka ba?
Right. Pero kasi I understand that sa you, PARC, kasi I think you are very passionate, and I think between the two of us, I think you're more of an artist than I am, in the sense na you're more of an artist in the sense na I think apart from photography, you have many other art,
my frustration is like
you can do and you can do music, you can do, ako talagang photography lang talaga so I still feel that I am a wannabe artist.
No, you're not. No, definitely not.
well, wannabe artist in a sense na siguro I'm just lucky sa photography ko, and I have a lot of good works to back it up. Pero ano lang ako, parang photography lang. Wala na akong ibang field,
Pero again, it's still a hobby, right? It's still a hobby.
So in terms of the mood swing of an artist, wala ako niyan. Unlike my brother, na you get so personal, you get so disappointed, sometimes you get so frustrated. Ako wala ako niyan. I will never get burnt out. I will never get when people attack my work personally, I won't take it personally. I don't have that because I'm not. I don't have the artist mood or.
That's good. Okay, you're happy with the answer, Rommel?
Yes, very happy.
My turn. Okay. Mahaba to. So, not really. So, how did you do the marketing? How did you penetrate the industry using social media as your main platform? Because during our time, it was the forums. What was the marketing style?
Okay. I think the biggest marketing point we had when we were starting is our work. Our work speaks for itself. Because we don't have as much marketing yet.
Yeah.
So I think for me, what happened was that there were too many people who likes my work, and they start to message me in Facebook or in email at the time.
Okay.
And they would say like, Manny, can you do a workshop here? Can you almost all of the workshops I had through Facebook. Sometimes I would fly to Quebec. In one time I had to fly to Quebec in Canada without even meeting my organizer.
Oh, okay.
Even knowing him personally. He's a French guy in Quebec. And I took the leap of faith. Because if I know that it may not happen again. So part of my marketing is I'm very, very wise when it comes to accepting offers. But I think your biggest marketing point is your work. That's the reason why I come up with these crazy concepts. That's the reason why my work is always evolving. That's the reason why from simple post-processing, I would go cinematic a la PARC. I would go colorful.
You're doing it again.
I'm good at that part,
And I know.
and then I go very colorful, and then I go very dark. I go, that's the reason why I always evolve, because that's what the market wants, So some of these things are not true to your style, pero we have to earn our bread, We
need to make a living.
Right. So for me, yung kwan ko, yung always to go home to ko na work will be my travels. Okay, I can go crazy with my model shoot, People call it high fashion na wala namang direksyon,
Nalagyan ka ng branding, alright.
Naging Librodo style na high fashion na hindi naman high fashion. Yeah.
So how does the high fashion community takes that?
Before I know it, they were following me.
Boom! That's Manny Librodo, guys.
Yeah. Before I know it, I started my own brand of high fashion. They were following me, Pero para sa akin, parang wow. Kasi yun lang naman ang may offer ko sa workshop. So anyway, going back to what I was saying, yung go home to ko na para sa akin lang would be my travels.
All right.
I love my travel photos more than my fashion, my beauty shots. I love normal people more than my beautiful models,
So no one should call you a portrait photographer, but they should call you a travel photographer instead.
A travel portrait photographer. Yeah.
All right.
Because most of my travel will be still portrait.
All right.
And the funny thing is, going back to this competition that I am joining right now, my win actually, my God, this is so crazy, But lately, the winnings that I have in this competition would be pictures of animals. Would be pictures of landscape with like a very small person on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's different.
So this is not me, This is not me, but maybe it's me. It's me that I had been holding on for quite a long time. Yeah.
You're discovering a new style, or
Yeah. But still, my colors are there. The bottom line is the colors are still there. The light is still there. It's still unmistakably a Manny Librodo picture because the colors are kind of common, through all of my works. But
it's not common. The right word would be consistent. Your color is just consistent.
Yes. Yes, consistent. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think, I forgot the question.
All right. Nasa na ba part? Yung marketing, it's just the marketing. How did you submit your photos? Where did you post? Paano ba how did people discover the work, your art itself. Because of course, if someone's starting, let's say a aspiring photographer, like someone's gonna follow our path now. How would he promote himself? How would he share your work? Saan ba? Should he choose the competition part or just go for the social media posting? Something like that.
Though these days, because I've been traveling a lot. I've been dealing with so many countries, like Indonesia, Thailand. You know what? This is very interesting. This is very funny. Each country would have its own main social media platform.
Oh,
like Indonesia, Instagram. Not Facebook.
Not Facebook.
Right. Very interesting. Not Facebook.
All right.
Thailand, Facebook, and WhatsApp.
All right.
Crazy,
so it's
right?
a different platform.
Crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. Philippines is still Facebook.
No, TikTok.
By majority.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it's Facebook. Definitely, it's Facebook. I think Filipino community.
Yeah. So sa akin, the question there is, would you like to penetrate the international market or the or the local market? Kasi pag
So it depends
you have to be everywhere. You have to be everywhere.
You don't you don't put your eggs in just one basket. It's basically
right. Would you believe that in my Instagram, most of my followers are Indonesians?
Oh.
You can look at there's some sort of like a demographic of your followers.
So majority is from that area.
Yeah. Okay. 70%. My God, so guys, 70% are Indonesians. And you know what? Right now, also the rabid Facebook users are the Burmese, the people from Myanmar. Crazy.
Myanmar, yeah.
They're crazy. They're in Facebook. But they are less in Instagram. They're not in Instagram. So it's very funny.
Ano talaga? It depends on the market you want to penetrate. You have to choose the perfect platform for that. Now, if you want you want to penetrate globally, you have to scatter your work
in all social media. Not really scatter in the sense that yes, you're gonna be there, but you have to do well in all, which is very, very difficult. Very
difficult because eventually you'll be seeing other works now which is better than you. So hindi ka basta-basta mapapansin eh.
And then you will lose interest in one, and then before you know it, you lose interest in everything.
No, yeah.
Yeah. So you have to do well in at least one, right? Okay. Competitions. I think I am a staunch supporter of competition. That's where I started. It's a very good platform to start off with, and right now there are so many competitions. And there are a lot of oh my God, some competitions are, I don't know. Are there really competitions? Wow, what kind of pictures are this? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to choose the competitions also that you're getting into. The paid competitions usually are the famous ones, but my God, it's so expensive.
Do you encourage them to join those kind of contests, or
I think so. I think so. If they have winning photos, why not? But then if you keep on paying and
you're not winning at all,
you better stop. Right. Yeah, but yeah.
Naisip ko
I know some people.
Yeah. Parang lotto, yung taya until we win something, babawi ko lang lahat.
Yeah. But this competition community are also very wise. They let you win, They let you win. They have so many medals,
what? Just to hook you in? Just to hook you in, like in one category they would have 100 medals, So these people, all they want is the bragging, medals in this one, medal in this one. It's a hook. It's just a gimmick, just to hook you up, just to pay. Okay.
And then you have to be very, very wise. You have to be very strategic in your style in joining competitions, because PARC, we all know that sometimes people has only one good work.
Oh yeah.
But this one good work could win 7 big competitions, right?
Yep.
You know, they keep on joining this in all competitions, you know. So people would say like, "Oh my God, he's such a good photographer." But the thing is, that's only one good work, you know. Yeah, but the thing is, it works. It works for the marketing, you know. so the bottom line is, you have to be very strategic, you know, because your purpose in joining competition is to win, you know. So if you feel that these small competitions could boost up your popularity in your own community for you to get more clients, go ahead, you know. Yeah. But at the end of the day, eventually you have to go to the big leagues competition.
Yeah, you have to play the game eventually. Just to test the water. Wala namang mawawala kung if you test once in a while. All right. So, sa akin muna before that. Okay. You have may mga ano ka muna. Rommel, I think nababaha tayo ng mga question.
Oo nga sige. Let's try to browse ang questions. Okay, let's address one question here from Sir Brian Carrera Show. Sir Manny,
hello.
What are your thoughts on mobile editing and media being used now? What's the best way to showcase your work nowadays?
Okay, mobile editing, there's some people who are so good in it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and right now, the community that I'm joining, it's a mobile competition. You know, it's a mobile community. The application is only in mobile phone. Okay. And a lot of the photos are actually taken by mobile phones.
Okay.
Because the mobile phones right now are so good. So I have nothing against it. Whatever suits you. And I actually, that's why I told you, you know, like Samsung, hello.
Hi Samsung.
Sama nyo ako.
We're here.
Sama nyo ako dyan. Okay. Yeah. And the second part of the question was, what was it, Rommel?
The second part of the question is, what's the best way to showcase your work nowadays?
In social media. Yeah. Yes, I think I have answered.
I think you answered that already. So that's a good name. So let's more questions, Rommel. 2 more, sige.
Okay. Next question. Okay. So let's address this from Sir Don Romulo Davis. Okay. Sir Manny, I've been lately. I've been lately that some of your photos use strobe lights. Which do you prefer, ambient or strobe lighting?
Hello.
Park, you're laughing.
I think I know the answer already.
Yeah. It's very convenient. Strobe is not my strong forte because I don't know how to play around with the strobes. Someone is helping me with those. Do I feel good about my photos? Yes, but at the end of the day, I still go back to
do my roots, your roots,
yeah. But I think for some type of photography, the strobe lighting is amazing. Perfect.
Yeah, they're doing it right.
Yeah, but if I'm doing all the work, you know, like doing the adjusting, doing the whatsoever, and so on and so forth, forget it. I'll go back to my ambient light.
Yeah. The problem with ambient light, that's my first love too, and I would never change that. Yung problem lang sa ambient light, and I think Manny would agree, may hanggang alas 7 lang ng gabi lang kami pwede mag-shoot. May oras lang kami patutulog na kami.
Kung minsan park, kung umuulan or madilim, wala pang time.
Wala pa, sisirain pa nila oras namin. So,
at the mercy of Photoshop na lang, no? Yeah. So para may katuturan naman ang workshop natin, di ba?
So, for short, we love the sun, okay? It's the sun. That's our main light.
Here comes the sun.
And you know what? Right now, I've learned the art of using ring light.
Oh, you know, it's nice. Maganda siya.
Sometimes I use like 2 or 3 ring lights. Oh my God, you know, my series on those models, crazy makeup, I was just using ring light, you know. So
pwede naman kaya naman, di ba? Basta continuous, maganda.
Basta continuous.
Yun. Yeah. So, one more from Domulo Davis, nasagot yung question. Okay, here's one of our questions from Sir Abemar Gegantoni. Sir Manny, if you didn't make it in the field of photography, what would be your second option?
Ako alam ko.
Actually, my first option.
Alam ko. I
Actually,
did
my
the
first
research. I did the
option was-
research.
I'm actually a teacher, so I was teaching full time history and psychology in an international school in Bangkok, and I was so happy. I was so happy because I was doing quite well. I'm very popular with the students. That's why it was easy for me also later on when I got into photography to convince them to pose for me because I was very popular. I made psychology very interesting and fun. And I am Boboy's brother. Boboy is also a teacher in the same school where I was teaching. He's teaching art and music. And we are some sort of a tag team. Like if I need models, I would run to his music room, and he would provide me with models, Before the social media became very popular, because now in social media, my God, we could have lost our job early on, Because people will take photos of us like shooting students, and before you know it, they upload it.
May scandal ka na agad.
Right. So anyway, this is me. The question is very simple, but I branch out to so many topics. Yeah, so
it's okay. It's okay.
It's okay, Sir Man. It's okay.
So I'll be a teacher. Going back to it, actually, I intentionally make it this way na mag-branch out ako. Kasi it's as Park is saying, it's going to be free flowing. It's going to be informal. But guys, I can also be so formal.
No, we don't want the formal thing. That's why we're doing the informal thing. And the reason why we invited you there and we structured the question like this so that people would know you as Manny, not the artist, but the Manny, the human being,
the
person.
Park,
so yeah.
Park, this is the longest we've talked.
I know. So that's why I'm gonna remember this day. Being complimented by Manny is a big deal already. And that's my, trophy ko na yan. All right.
You're
so,
good.
Thank you very much. It's a work in progress. Okay. So, okay. Manny, since traveling and meeting people is part of the thing and doing ports photography, how do you handle it now? With our current, yeah.
Well, in Thailand, it's back to normal. So eventually, it will be back to normal. Eventually. But for me, I think I really could not feel it because when COVID was at its height here in Thailand, I also stopped taking photos.
But you have the stock photos.
Oh my God! That's what I've told you. If there's if COVID were to last for 3 years, I still would be working on my photos. I have so much.
So good for you. You have something to do, diba? Continuous yung output pa rin.
Park, you need some? I can send you some your way.
Sige, I'm getting bored here. I'm shooting my dogs already here. Wala na, naubusan na ako ng stock photo dito. Rommel, I think you have a fun question for it. I think Rommel is preparing a rapid fire question for you. So the rapid fire question,
okay.
So you'll be throwing in question choices, but you just have to answer in using as short as possible.
Okay.
Okay, Sir Manny, you're ready na ba? You're ready?
Baka talo ka, baka ready. Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's start. Let's start. Sir Manny, portrait or landscape?
Portrait.
Favorite place to travel?
India.
2470 or 85mm?
2470.
Black and white or colored?
Colored, of course.
What do you love about photography?
You can express what's inside you.
Ambient or strobe?
Of course, ambient.
What are the 3 things inside your go bag?
The camera, the lens, the veil.
Dislikes? Dislikes?
Maarte models.
Plain or printed?
plain.
I
I'm
think-
surprised. I like plain.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you choose plain. Why?
I'm getting old.
You're getting boring like me. I'm a plain guy.
I'm getting bored.
Oh God! I was
Indoor
expecting
or-
gonna play. Okay.
Indoor or outdoor?
Outdoor with a good light.
Normal people or professional models?
Normal people.
And last question, teaching professionally or being a professional photographer?
Teaching professionally about photography.
Okay, nice answer, Sir Manny. Thank you
I
very
told you
much.
he's gonna answer that. Okay,
Nice
that's
one,
why.
nice one. You got me there, you got me there.
Okay. Okay, now, Manny, so ganito, I prepared some serious questions. It's a little bit personal, but it's more of just to know you better. Okay, so nothing, nothing controversial, so
Okay.
it's just to get to know you better. So, what was your greatest challenge through the years in this field?
I think my greatest challenge was sometimes I shoot too much.
Mhm.
That I am more concerned about shooting than expressing myself.
Okay.
I felt that I'm dispensing my energy unwisely. I'm not choosing the shots that I am doing.
Mhm.
I am wandering aimlessly.
That's your greatest challenge. Now, this is my second question. So, I have to ask this personal question since I'm curious on how it works. Okay. I know that the artistic and creative thing runs in the blood of the Librodos. So it's given. You guys are talented and artists. And I know how good the artist, the late Sir Buboy Librodo was. Now, how does it work with you guys before having a sibling that is also an artist, talented, creative? How you guys support each other? How do you collaborate? How do you create concept together? And what do you normally talk over dinner or whatever? I'm curious. You know why? Because we have siblings too. But
Okay.
iba yung siblings na you're in the same field ng being creative. So I'm curious about that.
Yeah. Boboy is only a year older than I am. That's also something that you have to throw in. He's only a year older.
I didn't
than
know
I am.
that. Okay.
And we are working in the same school in Bangkok.
Okay.
Yeah. So we are very, very close, but we are not so close. We are very, very close proximity-wise, but we are not so close to the point that at one point he has to drive me out of his condo here in Bangkok.
All right.
Yeah. So we have a fun relationship, but through the years we know each other so much, especially me knowing him so much because he's an artist. So I have adjusted so much to his personality. Me being a non-artist, I don't have the swings, the mood swings. So I am more in control of the situation, and I have to go with these mood swings, so to speak. But when I got into photography, boom, there was something that is common between the two of us,
Yeah.
I'm now starting to become an artist, so we now start to talk about art. So the funny thing was, I am not schooled in art. I'm not schooled in photography. But before that, Boboy has already been buying books about photography, about Photoshop, and he has been doing it for the longest time before I got into it. So when I started to become good in my photography, he gave me all these books.
Oh.
And I don't know anything about composition. I would shoot my students, full on face, with whatsoever. And then I would get a lot of good comments from all over the world. And then I would show it to Boboy. And Boboy would say, you know why? Because this is how you would explain this in composition. And then he would be the voice behind my photo, so he would explain my photo after I took the photo. Why this works, So for me to realize the concept behind my composition without actually me knowing it, eventually gives me direction in my work, And especially, it gave me direction in my workshops later on. Because in my workshop, I could not just show to my participants. I have to explain to them, right?
Yeah.
And most of these explanations came from Boboy. So he was the voice of the theories that I eventually learned to realize in my photos. Later, when because I resigned from work in 2009. Actually, I did not resign. I took a sabbatical leave.
Okay.
Hoping that after a year I'll go back, but I never came back. Maybe in the last 3 years of that, Boboy and I had been eating lunch together in his room, which is something very unprecedented because before we could not see each other eye to eye, even if we were working the same school, like whenever I see him, I would run away, I would go somewhere else,
All right.
But eventually we learned how to, sit together and talk about, believe it or not, about art, about my post-processing, about the family, and so on and so forth, So eventually we had such a harmonious relationship.
That's nice.
And I wanted him to be as active as I am in my photography because Boboy, you know him. He's good in music, he's good in painting, he's good in drawing. So he doesn't know where to put himself, I think I'm lucky. I only have one artistic talent, and that's photography. So I was able to put my time, energy, and effort on photography. For Bobo, he doesn't know where to put himself.
Focus,
Because the thing with him is he's good in all of these aspects.
Okay.
So knowing and seeing his example, I also learned that I shouldn't venture into other forms of art. I have this talent in writing, but to come up with a good write-up would take me a week. So it's not from the heart, it's very manufactured, so to speak, And I don't feel that in photography. I can just shoot, retouch it, and come up with something above average,
All right.
So, so I feel that Boboy is instrumental in all of this because I think whether behind the scene or on the scene, he has helped me a lot in my photography.
That's
okay.
Oh,
but it was a long process. It was a long process. Yeah.
So, Rommel, may pag-asa pa kayo ng kapatid mo.
Ikaw din.
No, bring
May pag-asa pa.
But you said they're not into the same. Not in the same
No,
field.
they're not. They just find me normal. That's okay.
Yeah, you know what? That's common. Also, my family finds me normal. And sometimes whenever I go back home and would tell them I have a shoot, and they would say like, why? Especially my mother, they would say like, why? Are you going home for lunch? And then I would say like, no, I'm staying in the hotel. They're housing me. Why?
They don't understand that yung situation. Nice, very nice. I got what I wanted. The question. Now I have a couple, but I'll just make it short. Cut some of the Rommel.
Yes.
Okay. I want this question. Everyone has a unique perspective in being creative. How do you translate yours?
Okay, being creative is staying true to yourself. Being creative is basically following your own creative workflow. It should be spontaneous.
Right.
It's not something like, oh, so and so is doing this, so I have to do this too. So it has to be very spontaneous.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are days when we wake up and we don't feel creative, right?
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, there are days like that, but you have to do you have to do it because you have a client, right?
Yeah.
I think how to fire up your creativity, even if it's not there, is to think creative. Sometimes you are who you are thinking of. You know, in psychology, they say that you are who you think you are. Yeah. So if you think that you are creative, you will eventually be creative. Or at least for that moment, that you are working, you are thinking that you can do something good. But if you already believe that you are not creative, then you will never be creative. So I think I think you have creativity is very spontaneous, but you have to admit the fact that there are some days that you are not that creative. The process of creativity is not.
Yeah. Nicely said. Okay. Okay, I'll do the last. This is the one last more. Ito na, ayoko na paano. This is taking too long. Mahaba, pero ang ganda. Okay. The biggest misconception people have about you.
Mm-hmm.
What's the biggest misconception people have about you?
That I love colors so much, and I love dealing with a lot of props in my shoot. I think that's the byproduct of my many workshops, and most of these things, the colors, in retouching, the props that we are using, these are demands from students. These are demands from organizers, because I would always go back to shooting ordinary people.
Yeah.
I would always go back to shooting Crystal without any makeup, but with a veil.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that. I want to see that too. Going back to the roots.
Yeah,
Actually, I also
going back to the roots. So that's the biggest misconception. Because I'm going to tell you this part. In EP Challenge, that's one community where I grew up with. In my photography, I improved so much in there. I'm still one of their top photographers in that site, even if I left it more than 10 years ago. That's also the site where Joey Lawrence started.
Yeah, Joey Lawrence.
That's why we became very close, because we started at the same time, and we built up our name almost at the same time. Anyway, eventually the site came up with competitions. They have weekly competitions, and the competition is in the style of Librodo.
Oh,
that's the theme. Okay. Mm-hmm. And the competition ran for a week, and they had like over 700 entries from the members. And looking at the picture, I felt so bad about myself. The colors are so bad. The people, the entries are, the colors are just going crazy.
Oh, okay.
There's no sense of direction. And the props that they are using, they are not even well coordinated.
Not Librodo at all.
Yeah. So maybe, but you know what, Park? It's also a realization for me. Maybe I am like that. Maybe I was like that. But they actually, when you are trying to copy someone, you tend to exaggerate,
Yeah.
So these are all the exaggerations. These are all the exaggerations of what I am, But there's a truth in it. So after I saw that, I said, like, Karu, can we shoot something very simple? Okay. Can you not wear makeup? Okay. Don't bring in those many colors, because I felt so bad that they look at me that way,
Yeah.
So
let's do something else, something simple.
Yeah. And nobody submitted a picture of a kid, with beautiful eyes. Nobody's. My God, it was bad. So
that's funny.
It was bad, but it has some grain of truth in it. So yeah.
All right. Okay.
All right.
So to close this off, the closing question is: since you're at the pinnacle of your career, what's next for Manny Librodo?
I think it's common for all of us who had been there for quite some time.
Yeah.
I think we want to give chance to the others in the sense that we have trained some people. We have nurtured some people to be good photographers. I think it's time for us to sit back and enjoy the successes of
what we're doing right now. We're just talking.
Well, I'm good. The thing is, I'm going back to competitions right now. But the thing is,
okay.
I also admit the fact that it's sometimes I'm competing with some of my students, but right now, because we have grown up a lot in photography, we have become wiser. The insecurities are gone, right? That's why when I saw you coming up with this show, I said like, PARC, can you get me as a guest? Because I'm not insecure with your beautiful kids picture then, anymore, because we have grown up a lot already.
You're doing it again. I'm blushing and I feel awkward here.
Absolutely, yeah. So bottom line is, I think we have, kumbaga sa generation, I think we are in the older generation as a photography.
We're there already, so it's time for them.
And we have kids. We have kids who are starting to get their name out there, and it's so nice to see them doing really well. But it doesn't mean also that life ends for us.
Nope.
Because that's what I've said. Your first question, who am I? I am a learner. So I would like to say that I'm still learning. And I'm not yet going to be totally out of the scene, but I'll be there saying hi, hello to everyone with my pictures every now and then. And remember, now that there's COVID, I have plenty of time to go back to my old pictures. So I'm actually kind of resurrected.
And I'm excited to see those old photos. So at least even different. Okay, so to close this out, Manny, any parting words or inspirational words for everyone who's into portrait photography or in photography in general, who are having a hard time during this time of crisis?
This is temporary, Eventually, we'll be back to normal. Bangkok is almost back to normal, but not yet, because I think there will be a second wave or a third wave. It's going to be quite long, but still, this is temporary. I think use this time to reassess your photography. Also use this time to really think about the direction that you're heading to, because I think just like me, what we had been doing was shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot. We were not really thinking a lot about the process of shooting. For those who are having this field as a means of income, the more shoot they have, the better, right?
Yes.
But at the end of the day, eventually, from the many wedding photographers, from the many portrait photographers, from the many events photographers, some people are getting more work. And these are the people who have their own sense of style. These are the people who have their own trademark. And these are the people whose work is better. I would use that word from the others, So use this time that you have no work to reassess your photography and to think about where are you going to position yourself after the pandemic is over. It's not going to be easy.
Yep.
There are many online courses about the business. There are many online there are many courses, or there are many like this, Zoom conferences about photography. Use it as a way to augment your information or your to augment your knowledge about the business side of photography, not just the execution side of photography. Because at the end of the day, if you are a photographer and that's your means of income, you have to think about how you're going to earn. For me, I don't really care. I think I don't have to shoot even after the pandemic. Because I think I can survive for the rest of my life.
Yeah, thank. All right.
But still, I am doing the process of reassessing my direction. Because I think we need it. Agree, Park?
All right. Yeah.
Alright.
Wala na akong masabi, but I'm at all again, and honestly, the more I'm impressed with you as a person, as an artist, just hearing your voice, knowing you this personal. Kasi I only knew the Manny Librodo, the artist who posts magnificent shots and colorful thing. But this time, with all the question, I was able to profile you, and now I know you. So it's good to know you. That's it. It was an honor and pleasure to have you here, and I hope you had fun. And I hope we could invite you again in the future, but with a couple of artists, and try to imagine a artist round table.
That would be nice.
Yeah. So
that would be nice.
Yeah, Rommel, any words?
Sa akin naman, Sir Manny, binabawi ko na po ulit. Ipapasok ulit yung mga entry ko. Medyo ginaganahan na ulit ako. Pero yun, tama ka nga po. This is the time to assess all the works. Actually, siya po yung bread and butter ko before the pandemic. So, tama po kayo. I'm just shooting for the clients, not for myself. And right now, I will try to reassess all my shoots para naman I will showcase myself po. Not really to showcase the ones of others po. Yun po. And maraming salamat, Sir Manny. Maraming salamat po.
All right.
Thank you so much also.
Yeah, so for everybody, here's my parting words. Yesterday is not ours to recover, but tomorrow is ours to win or lose. All right, guys. So it's good night, everyone, and peace, guys.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Sir Manny, maraming.
If you've enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to subscribe to PARCHERE so you don't miss our next shows. Thanks for tuning in.